Hey guys, my name is Matt Asplund and welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In today's video, what we're going to be going over is how to use event dispatchers. Now if you don't know what an event dispatcher is, essentially it is basically a way to call off different events in different blueprints. So this means you can actually technically kind of cast to a level blueprint, which obviously you can't do, but this means you can interact with the level blueprint from other blueprints as well, which again you wouldn't ordinarily be able to do, or you can just call an event in multiple different blueprints at the same time by only using one event, which obviously makes it a lot more efficient. So let me just hit play and show you a quick example of what we're going to do. So as you can see, we've got some floating meshes here, and if I were to press 1, they're going to come down like this. Now, essentially what I'm doing here to show event dispatchers working is I am using a level sequence inside of the level blueprint and calling it from pressing a button in the player blueprint, which means I am now able to interact between the player blueprint and the level blueprint. Ordinarily, you can go from the level blueprint to the player blueprint, but this is the other way around, just in case that's what you want to do, because there are a lot of cases and a lot of times where you do want to be able to, essentially cast to the level blueprint, and this is a way of doing that. So this is what we're going over and creating today. Obviously, this is a random example, but it's just to showcase something working in the level. So without further ado, let me do this code. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. So this is actually incredibly easy. All we need to do is open up our character blueprint or whatever blueprint it is that you want to call this from. So for me, again, it is the character blueprint as I want to press 1 in the player, but you can do this any blueprint that you like, but this is where you want the event dispatcher to be in, where you want to call the event from. So that might make more sense once we've actually set it up and you can see it working. So let me open up my character blueprint, which for me is content, third person, blueprints, BP third person character. And you can see on the bottom left down here, we have this tab called event dispatchers. I'm going to press the add button there, and I'm going to call this one ed underscore level sequence, or play level sequence, as that makes the most sense for me and what I'm doing. Then in the event graph, I'm going to right click and just get the one keyword event, as I just want to do this when I'm pressing 1, just for the purpose of this video. And I'm going to drag in my level sequence, and you can see we have call, bind, unbind, unbind all, event, and assign. All we want to do in here is we want to call it. So when we press 1, we are calling the level sequence. And this means that in any blueprint in our game using this event dispatcher, it is going to fire off the event that is associated with that event dispatcher. So let's give an example of that. Let's compile this and close it, as that's all we need to do to call it off. Then let's open up our level blueprint. So we'll go up here and open our level blueprint. You can see I've already got some code here just for my level sequence. But what we're going to do is off of event begin play, we're going to cast to our character or whatever blueprint it is that you just created that event dispatcher in. So I'm going to cast to BP third person character, with the object obviously being get player character. Then out of as BP third person character or as your blueprint is we're going to bind event to, and then whatever we just called our event dispatcher. So mine is bind event to ed level sequence. And now out of this event here, we're going to drag out of it and add a custom event, naming this whatever you want. For example, for me, play level sequence. And now when we call this event dispatcher, so let me open that up again. When we call our event dispatcher in our player blueprint, it is going to fire off this event as we have now binded this event to that event dispatcher. So I hope that makes sense. We've binded this event to the event dispatcher. So when we fire it off, we call it, this gets called, which means this gets fired off. Again, I hope that all makes sense. And obviously you can come out of the blueprint again, and you can unbind event from ed level sequence as well if you change your mind or you want it to be a one-time thing or anything along those lines. But for me, this is going to be perfectly fine. And then obviously just do the code that you want in here. So for me, that is going to be my level sequence, which if you don't know how to do that, you can just select the level sequence in the level. Let me just delete this, right click, create a reference to your level sequence, drag out of this and get play from the sequence player like so. And this now means when I press 1 in my character blueprint, it's going to fire off an event in the level blueprint because it is calling an event dispatcher which is binded to this event here. So let me minimize this and hit play to show you it working. So again, if I were to hit 1 in the character blueprint, we now have a level blueprint event firing off. So you see how simple, quick, and easy that is, but also how effective it can be. Obviously, again, this is an example of me just firing off a level sequence, but this can be for absolutely anything within your level blueprint. For example, changing the time of day or adding in fog or anything along those lines. You can now do it through the character blueprint if that is what you want it to do. And you obviously don't also have to do this within the level blueprint. You can do this with any different blueprint as well. For example, we could leave this in here, but we could also have a bind event 2 in another blueprint, and it will do the same thing. It will fire off both events, which means we can now fire off events in multiple different blueprints using just this one call here, which again is nice and efficient. We don't have to go through like a for loop to find all the blueprints we want to then fire it off, which is what you would normally have to do with a blueprint interface. So within an event dispatcher, you can just do it with one event and one node here. So I hope that all makes sense. And I also think that'll be it for this video, as we've done everything we want to do. We've kind of gone over what event dispatchers are, what they can be used for, how powerful they are and why they're powerful, and also how to use them as well. Again, it's very simple, very basic, very easy to understand. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please do make sure to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help me and the channel out a lot. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.